All right, boys and girls, we are moving on to lesson 22 problem set. We are still talking about equivalent fractions. That's what we're talking about. So finding fractions that are equal to one another. So we're using different units, but we're talking about the same amount of space. Okay, so number one says, write the shaded fraction of each figure on the blank. Then draw a line to match the equivalent fractions. So there's those words, equivalent fraction. So I want you to go ahead and write the fraction for each figure on the line beside it, and then come on back to check your answers. Welcome back. Take a moment to make sure that your fractions look like mine. If they don't, please correct them, because if you don't, the next part's not going to work. So we're going to match the fractions and pictures that are on the left with the matching one on the right. Okay? So our first fraction here is showing us 1/2. Which one of the ones on the right shows us 1/2? 2/4 does. So if we turn this first one that we're looking at, it's going to look the exact same as this one down here. And we could do this and see that they are the same indeed. Okay? Next, we have 4/6. 4/6, that is equivalent to how much on this side? Well, visually, if we pretend that this shaded part moves over here, then we have two spaces shaded and one unshaded, and that matches 2/3. I'm going to write the matching fraction like this. I want you to do the same, just so that you can start to see, because you do need to start knowing right off the bat that 2/3 is the same as 4/6, or 2/4 is 1/2. Next, we have 3/4. So look at the remaining fractions, and which one of those, so we're looking at this one or this one, is the same as 3/4. If you said 6/8 is the same, you are correct. So 6/8 is equal to 3/4. And we could visually pretend that we draw these extra lines that they have on that one. And then they have one here. And you can see that this and this equal 1 square. So it's the same as 3/4. And then the last one, we could visually move this over here and move this over here and have this one row shaded. And then we can see that it's equal to 1/3. So 3/9 equals 1/3. Let's take a look at number 2. It says, write the missing parts of the fraction. So for 1/3, you're writing what fraction of 6 is equal to 1/3. I'm going to pause the video, and I want you to do this on your own. When you're finished, come on back when you're finished with number 2. Welcome back. So you should have 1/3 is equal to 2/6. 2/8 is equal to 1/4. And 4/8 is equal to 8/16. I want you to look at these fraction pairs and see if you can find any pattern. We go from 1 to 2 in the numerator, 3 to 6 in the denominator. How do we get there? What do we do? Here we have 1, and then we go to 2, 4, and we go to 8. What can we do to those numbers to get these new numbers? Same thing with 4/8. We go from 4 to 8, 8 to 16. In each case, we're doubling the numerator and the denominator. We're multiplying by 2. So 1 times 2 equals 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. 1 times 2 equals 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. 4 times 2 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. It's twice as much. Okay? So that leads us to number 3. Why does it take 2 copies of 1/8 to show the same amount as 1 copy of 1/4? Explain your answer in words and pictures. So we need to draw a picture and explain it in words. So I'm going to go to my trusty handy dandy rectangle. I'm going to draw 2 rectangles that are the same size. And we need one that's divided into eighths, which means we go down 1 to draw the number of lines, so 7 lines. And then for fourths, of course, we're going to have 1 line. Whoops. For fourths, we're going to have 3 lines. I'm so sorry. So it takes 2 copies of 1/8 to shade in the same amount as 1/4. Why is that? So 1/4 is equal to 2/8. Remember what we said up here about these? They're getting 2 times larger. So we're going to say 1/4 is twice as much as 1/8. So we need 2 copies of it to equal the same amount. I'm also going to do number 4 with you. On your homework, number 4 is going to be optional, but for this one, we're going to do it together. So number 4 says, how many sixths does it take to make the same amount as 1/3? Explain your answer in words and pictures. Well, we already have that up here, don't we? We have that picture. So I'm going to draw it again just for practice. So there are my thirds. And then I'm going to do my sixths like that. And there's 1/3 and there's 2/6. We need 2/6. So the reason is because 1/6 is half the size of 1/3. So we need 2 copies. And there you have it, boys and girls. You're going to go on to lesson 22 homework. You're doing problems 1 through 3, and number 4 is optional to get some extra credit if you want to. Sarah, Mariah, Logan, Jalen, you guys need to do number 4 because you need a challenge.